European commercial space company Arianespace last week announced a deal with Astrium, an EADS company, to produce 18 more Ariane 5 launchers. The initial agreement is worth more than 400 million euros. The two firms plan to sign a full production contract before the end of the year. Arianespace is backed by the European Space Agency and has carried out more than 200 rocket launches, as you can see right there from French Guiana. And joining us for more is Stefan Israel, CEO of Arianespace, in a first on CNBC interview. Sir, thank you very much for your time. So the new order certainly is going to keep your company busy with launches for the next 3 years. Would you say that given more than a third of your demand comes from the Asia Pacific, this is an Asian growth story, a recovering global growth story?
Yes, so we have a very strong demand from Asia, for sure. You know, we have been working with Asian operators for years. We have been working for ISRO, the Indian Space Agency, for SKY Perfect JSAT, the Japanese operator, for BSAT. And so, for sure, what is happening now in Asia is key for us because we have a lot of prospects as well in Asia. And I should mention that our two first launches of next year will be for Asia, one with ABS, which is operator for Hong Kong, and one for Measat, operator from Malaysia. So for sure, Asia matters for Arianespace.
Yeah, when I visited your launch facility several years ago in French Guiana, the talk was all about the cheaper competition coming from the likes of China and also Russia. But nowadays, there seems to be a new player, which is Elon Musk's SpaceX. So over the next 3 years, your key challenge is going to be about reducing costs. How do you intend to do that? And do you think this challenge will prove to be formidable enough to cut into some of your order book?
You know, competitiveness is not only about price and cost. Competitiveness is about, first, reliability, because when you have a satellite, when you are an operator, you want to be sure that it will be in orbit. And Arianespace has had 57 successes in a row. Competitiveness is about availability. When you choose a launcher, you want to make sure that you will not be delayed or postponed. And Arianespace also has an impressive track record here in terms of availability. After coming to cost, for sure, we can go on increasing our competitiveness. We can go on working on our cost base. But, you know, some years ago, we have overcome competition from Proton. It was a very strong competitor. And now I think we can say that even if it is still a competitor, we have overcome this competition. So I am quite confident that we will overcome competition from newcomers. There's no problem here.
Stefan, it makes me wonder how much business there is to go around. We know that increased connectivity is one of the big themes globally, but just how many satellites is there demand for?
Sorry, I'm not sure I have perfectly understood your question, but what is sure is that you have two drivers for satellites demand. You have broadcast on the one end and broadband on the other end. And in Asia, there is now an increasing demand for broadcast, for pay TV. The revenues generated by pay TV are going to increase from $32 billion in 2012 to $44 billion in 2018. So it shows to you how impressive will be the increasing in the demand for broadcast. But there is also a very strong demand for broadband. For instance, we have signed at the beginning of the year 2 satellites for Australia, which are about broadband, because in Australia you will have a combination, a mix between terrestrial means and satellite means to deliver more data to the people.
And I just want to also talk about more about some of the development phases that you have. A lot of people are wondering why you are currently stuck on the Ariane 5 launch facility when Ariane 6 is the way to go, and that's going to be a lot more cost-effective facility to begin with. Why the delay?
You know, the roadmap is the following. We will have Ariane 6 at the beginning of next decade. We do not know exactly yet when we will have Ariane 6, but let's assume that it will be at the beginning of the next decade. And for the coming years, at least for the 7 coming years, we will have Ariane 5. This is the reason why we have just ordered to Astrium 18 additional launchers. And you know that there will be a transitional phase. During this period, you will have a combination combination of Ariane 5 and Ariane 6. So my point is to say we are going to operate Ariane 5 for many, many years. Ariane 5 is the most successful and reliable launcher in the commercial market, and this is why we are very confident in the future of this rocket. When we see our customers, we see that they want Ariane 5, they need a reliable and available launcher. But after, for sure, we must prepare the future. The future is with an evolution of Ariane 5 and after Ariane 6 at the beginning of the next decade.
Very much appreciate the conversation today and interesting hearing what the business model is. Stefan Israel from Arianespace joining us today out of our Hong Kong studios.